Hey YouTube, Mike the Alpha Hoarder here. Thanks for joining me. I hope you're all doing well. It's been a minute. Today, I got a short video, a little bit pointless. There's a few market update news I want to bring up, and then I wanted to share this collection you're looking at now, which is just the most incredible collection that I've ever seen. And yet this is all alpha cards from one person. So we're going to take a look at that, and then this should be, there's not going to be too much meat on this video. Just wanted to share. So this collection I've been working on acquiring for maybe the last month or so. But look at this, all alpha. So I'm good buddies with Daniel Chang from Vintage Magic. I know many of you follow his channel or know him through the hobby. He's one of the first people that reached out to me when I came back to Magic. I connected with him early on. He helped my father sell his collection. Some of you will know if you've watched my channel. And anyway, we've done business in the past. So this crossed his radar. And so he immediately called me. And said he had something that would just be a perfect fit for the Horde, and man was he right. So he started sending me some details, some pictures. I honestly couldn't believe when he started sending me the pictures. I mean, look how many cards this is. I have more than this in my Horde, but I've never had them stacked like this because I acquired them, maybe a dozen at a time at most, often singles, and then they get sleeved and put away. And so I've never appreciated them in this form, and man, it is pretty awesome. This is what it must have been like back in the day. And these cards are in good condition too. We're not talking gradable gem mint, but it's really not that played. So okay, we're gonna go through these a bit. I have to do some sorting. I have to do some accounting on my end just to make sure everything's here that's supposed to be here. But I figured I'd just do some of that on camera. So anyway, yeah, Dan reached out to me. We met up in New York after we'd sealed the deal, and he gave me this amazing collection. And then I also bought this from him, which he just posted a video on his channel you should check out. This was an already opened Alpha starter deck. I'll look at that another time. Okay, so this collection is actually something of a good metaphor for what seems to be going on the last couple weeks. I don't really know what's caused it. I don't really know what to make of it, but there has been a spike in inventory. And anyone who is watching the markets, for Alpha in particular, will know what I'm talking about. As I'm recording this, there is a whole bunch of Kid Icarus auctions that are ending within the next 2 days. They probably will either be just ending or have just ended by the time I post this video. But anyway, he's been posting cards regularly, the last couple years. As we've seen a lot of the inventory, a lot of it channels through him. But in the last 4 or 5 days, he posted most of a signed rare set in pretty decent condition. And that was the first one that caught my eye. And then Graded Power has just posted 2 batches of rares many rare cards, I'll say. Graded in 6.5 and 7.5, it looks like. Tons of stuff out there. ABU Games is another one that's been a regular. Look at the condition of these, man. This is just amazing. ABU Games has had regular supply, during this whole economic downturn, and they just continue to be full of nice condition cards. Joel Mick, Ancestral MTG, I track his store regularly. He's got great inventory. And then, just anecdotally, I have been approached Gee, in the last 2 weeks, I've been approached more times, I think, with more collections than in the previous 6 months. So I don't know exactly what's going on. I don't follow the news all that closely, and I'm not on social media. I sort of wait for the waves of those things to percolate out before I bother spending time seeing what's going on. It helps keep me sane. So I don't know if something has happened or if people are just running out of steam as poor market conditions push forward into the new year here. I don't know if it's related to some of the Hasbro stuff, but right now there is a lot of supply in ways that I haven't seen. If you go back to some of my older videos, you'll hear me talk about, I'm trying to think, maybe it was the video where I was looking at the 7th edition foils, but you'll hear me talk about how if you go on TCG Player, you pull up Alpha, you pull up Rare, what was normal for a very, very long time is that many of them would just have no listings at all. There'd be some with more than others, but there were many with none. There were cards there were rares where you could find 2 or 3 total across all of the different domestic marketplaces and private sellers. And that's just the way it was for a long time. But as of the filming of this video, there are only 3 rares that are completely out of stock. Cormus Bell, Tropical Island, and Tundra. Everything else has at least 1 listing, and many have more than that. So, yeah, I don't know why that is. And then this collection comes on sale. So obviously when that happens, you're going to see price softening. Now, in my last market update video, I reported that by and large, the prices weren't softening, or at least some were, others weren't. I don't think that's going to be able to continue, though, the way things are looking right now. And that's not to say that Alpha is about to crash or anything like that. I would need to see a lot more. I'd need to see a lot more things unfold before I was even worried about that. But it's just supply and demand. The demand is there, but as the supply goes up, it will just be able to satisfy that demand at lower prices. So I'm expecting to see softening. I'll be interested to see how these Kid Icarus auctions end, which for you might be in the past, but for me is still a day and a half away. Look at this condition. Okay. Ha. Wow. This is going to feed the horde for a long time. I'm going to have to get a second job. Yikes. But, that's another thing that I've talked about in past videos. There is an opportunity cost to not being liquid. Sometimes it is useful to just have a little cash in the bank, because when things come along, I did not plan for this and I did not budget for this. You can't know when something like this is coming along. But fortunately, I was in a position to pull the trigger. And, Dan's very good with working stuff out, so it was altogether a good deal. There aren't that many rares. There's no, power or dual or anything like that. I think there's 5 or 6 rares. I think most of them are in the red. Ooh, lightning bolt. I don't want to fan through these too much. Earthbinds. Pile of earthbinds. Oh, this is wild. My lady fire elemental. Just look at these edges. Look at these edges and corners. Man. Alright, so here we have a rare. One of the things I need to do is sort through and get the rares out, so might as well do that. I hate fanning through the cards, though. Wow. What a sight. How often do you see this? Jeez, there's a rare. Even for me, I hoard these things, and this just brings a smile to my face. Look at this. And they're clean. Look at some of these. Well, like I said, this video doesn't have a ton of depth to it. And I don't even know what to make about the inventory spike, so I'm not going to draw any conclusions or give any particular advice, but I just like to report those things. Not everybody has as much attention focused on one vertical as I do, so I see something, I say something. I've got a couple more collections coming through the pipeline that I'm hoping to share. But man, it's just a wild time to be into the vintage stuff. Couple Tudors. One of my very favorite cards. Evil Presence, fun uncommon. Frozen Shade. Ooh, just a pile. Gloom. I like Gloom a lot. What else have we got in here? Should be 2 rares in the white pile. But that's about it. Some Spectres. Playset of Vampires. This was definitely a collector. Whoever the guy was that sold this to Dan. Definitely a collector and not a player. I mean, cards like this, that could be shuffleware. But some of the rest of these, you know, these 3, these 4, I don't think these things were played. I think they were opened and stored. And I'm telling you, I haven't been doing this as long as a guy like Rudy, but I've been doing this a while. I've had a lot of contacts sort of privately before I was on YouTube. A lot more since. I've never seen anything like this. Beautiful air elemental. Very clean clone. I want to see what the jumps look like. We know that's important. All right, let's see what we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 more jumps for the Horde. You can never have enough jumps, my friends. At least that's what I tell my therapist. Some of you are probably itching because of the way I'm fanning through the cards. I feel it a bit too, but I don't know. There's no other way to go through all this. I'm being as gentle as I can. What a collection. Serpents. Always love this art. Nice uncommon water elementals. 3 of those. Okay, take a look at the white cards. The other reason I really like this lot is because of the lands. So I've lamented in the past that I really never made moves on the lands. When I first started going heavier on the alpha stuff, I was very much still seeing it purely as a collector, because that's my sort of orbit. That's my fascination. That's my passion. And obviously I know that there's players, and I know that that's a big deal, but I really didn't have a good appreciation of Alpha 40 and things like that. I didn't understand it, and I didn't understand that there is an important split within this market, specifically for players of Alpha 40. And so anyway, because of that, I did not value the lands very much. They're way more, the print run is much higher than even the commons. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but it was significant. And so I just never bothered with them. And over time, I started to appreciate that I was probably mistaken on that. But the prices had began moving, the lands were getting expensive. And so it was one of those things, you know, one only has so many dollars to spread around, and you can't buy everything. So I just continued to watch them and hope I'd have an opportunity to get a bunch, but I really didn't have a position in basic lands. And this was obviously quite a pile. This was a part of what made the deal sweet to me, is they were very nicely priced and a whole bunch. I could catch up all at once. Just look at how clean all these edges are. Ooh, Sarah. One Sarah, 3 swords. Beautiful. Isn't it? Or is it just me? Maybe it's just me. Let's see what else we got in here. And then I'll call it. I don't want to go through every single card on camera. That would probably take forever. There's something like 1,400 cards here, I think, or 1,300. Nice clean throne. So anyway, what do you guys think of this collection? But I mean, the market. What do you all make of it? Why, within just 2 or 3 weeks, are we going from relative stability to a very, very noticeable, multiple different sellers, including individual sellers, just unloading cards? What do you think's going on? Oh yeah, tons. Tons and tons. All right, that's it for today. Thank you guys as always for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching today's video. If you're enjoying my content and you want to help get my name out there, I'd really appreciate it if you framed me for a crime and then got me onto the national news. That way I think everybody would see my name and might check out the channel. Could be good for me. Thanks a lot. See you next time.